This is Geek Gab with your hosts, Brian and me, Jasyn. We are back. That's right, Geek Gab for Saturday, April 16th, 2016. By the way, it is there is a big it's an exciting day. It's a thrilling day. It's a day that causes the adrenaline to course through my system. Because a full third of our hosting staff is missing in action. He is off in the fabled and exotic city of Seattle, playing in a Vampire the Eternal Struggle tournament. John is gone this week, and so nominally, theoretically, possibly, we could have two hosts for the show. Only two, me and Brian. Unfortunately, and this is where things get really interesting.
Hello?
Unfortunately, Brian is having some technical difficulties, and he's been joining and leaving sporadically, so he may be here, or he may not, which makes hosting duties all the more interesting. So it looks like, oh man, what did we do? Is there something I did to you, Google? Are you personally offended by something I have done?
Am I coming through?
Oh, there you go. Brian is here. I can hear him at least.
For how long, I don't know.
I have absolutely no idea how long this is going to last. So before you go, how has your week been? Because we weren't here last week, were we?
Busy. Just a blur of endless toil and exhausting effort. So I'm glad to have this chance to speak with you. And of course, a gabless week is an impoverished week. So thank you for enriching all our lives.
So is there anything like anything particularly interesting about this toil, or is this just typical like job-related toil?
Well, it's all job-related toil, but I, like most writers, have two jobs. One of which is a day job, and that's just the daily grind, the blackmail of survival. What are you going to do about it? But the other is writing, and this is a good chance as any to announce that I've been working on something special for all my fans, all my readers who supported me, and those who haven't discovered my work yet, which I advise you to do. You can find links to my books in the show notes below. But since I released Ethereal back in June of 2015, I've had a number of wonderful reviewers, readers, mentors in the science fiction field give me feedback on it, and all of it is appreciated. And I've learned the golden rule of writing, which is, I don't work for a publishing house, which is literally true because I'm self-published, but I work for my fans, for my readers. So your comments have not fallen on deaf ears, dear readers. I've taken all of them to heart and pondered and cherished all of them. And as a result of that, I've taken those comments, and where I have found them to be valid, I've made changes to the text. So I've been working on the second edition of Ethereal, which will be out soon.
All right. Well, that sounds awesome.
Really?
Do you have a projected date beyond soon?
Yes. Actually, I might as well just go ahead and announce it. The launch date for N2E, as I like to shorthand it, is going to be on Saturday, April 30th. So 2 weeks from now.
Awesome. Well, that sounds great, dude.
I'm glad you approve, and it gets even better. And because I know that many people, thankfully, have already purchased copies of Ethereal, I'm going to make this offer. if anyone has already purchased a copy of Ethereal in either ebook or trade paperback formats, which are the two formats it's available in right now, send me an email at the link on Kairos, my blog. There's a button on the right sidebar. So send me an email. Email me there, and I will send you for free an upgrade to second edition. Now, we're using the honor system here, although don't get too cute and try to exploit it, because I do know how many copies I've sold, and I do know quite a few of the people who've bought them. But yeah, but I send me an email, get a free upgrade to second edition if you already purchased first edition.
All right, and that's in 2 weeks, folks. So go ahead. Ethereal second edition launching. All right.
Yes, and well, really quick to explain what's so special about the merited a second edition. It's revised and expanded. I've added a cast of characters, like a list of dramatis personae to the beginning, based partially on Dornall, but also Jeff Dunteman's advice to make the characters a little easier to keep track of. So if you ever lose track of who someone is, you can flip to the beginning of the book, and there's a short bio of the main characters. And I've fixed typos. I've added some back matter, so it does deserve a new edition.
So, other than the immense amount of work that goes into revising, re-editing, rewriting a new version of a book. See, okay, let me take a step back. The theme of today's show, the announced title of today's show, is Mystery Theme Saturday. Now, Mystery Theme Saturday is named thus because we have nothing planned to discuss this Saturday. There's no movie that we got together to agree to watch that only one of us watched. There's no books that we agreed to read that some of us haven't read. We don't actually have a planned theme for today, so the entire show, even more so than usual, is completely unscripted. Now, there have been some things I've been doing this week that we can talk about that, I wouldn't mind talking about. They're interesting. But my habit at this point is to query my co-hosts to see if there is anything happening to them this week that might make interesting fodder for the podcast. So I turn the question to you, Brian. Is there anything else that was going on this week that you think might be cool to discuss on the show before we slide into the topic that I haven't prepared but that I can actually talk about?
Well, I'm going to have to run this past you and see if you're okay. Because again, I know that you don't like discussing politics on Geek Gab. Geek Gab is supposed to be about fun. It's supposed to be a retreat from the hustle and bustle of the world and cares. Philosophical matters. Yes, go ahead.
Why do you do this to me, Google? Why? What is it that I have done? Have I offended you somehow? Did I run over your cat? I doubt that, because I've never run over a cat in my entire life. I'm sorry, you're breaking up. I'm not kidding. That's not a joke. We're breaking up for that entire paragraph.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're a lot clearer now.
Okay. Well, let me just shorten that. I have something, but it does have to do with politics, partially with the Hugos, partially pertaining to Gamergate. So I want to get your permission, because I know that this is your reprieve from presidential politics and whatnot.
That does remind me, though, and we should cover this real quick because it's really, really good, and we ought to talk about it, and our audience will be interested in it. And I haven't heard your opinion on it in general. What about the Dragon Con Awards?
Oh, I think that just saved me.
And you're breaking up again. Okay.
Dragon Con Awards, good.
The Dragon Con Awards. By the way, Dragon Con is a convention in, I believe, Atlanta, Georgia, which is massive. It has 60, 70,000 people every single year, regularly, absolutely humongous. And whatever reason the convention decided to do this, and I've never seen an announcement of the reasoning or logic behind it, they have decided to start their own Dragon Con Awards to award science fiction novels, short stories, TV shows, comics, etc., etc., etc. And they've announced that it is free to vote as long as you register, sign up with an email address, and that anyone who wants to sign up, not just people attending the convention, can vote in the awards. Now, you may be aware, if you listen to the show, of the controversy over the Hugo Awards that, frankly, is beyond my, other than the shows we've already done about them, specifically the show with Larry Correa, we discussed them a little bit, and another show, the Hugo Awards show, we discussed a little bit. By the way, that second one, the Hugo Awards show, was the cause of someone getting the channel taken down for a couple of weeks for a spurious spam complaint. Other than those two, I personally have nothing else that I need to talk to you about the Hugo Awards. But in my opinion, I think the Dragon Cons awards are great. I think that they are what the Hugo Awards claim to be, but no longer are. The Hugo Awards claim to be an award for all of fandom to come in and vote on to pick the best works of the year. Well, whatever they may have been at one point, they are no longer that. But Dragon Con itself, just in the membership, has a fair claim to being able to definitively state what the will of fandom of science fiction and fantasy believes to be the best work of a year, just in the membership of their convention. And even more, the membership, by opening up voting to all fans everywhere, it not only makes the awards, it hardens them against a small group of political ideologues being able to take over through log rolling. It hardens them against a small group of political ideologues being able to dictate quality to the entire rest of the fans of science fiction and fantasy, and is absolutely valuable just on that. And opening it up to everyone to vote if you register is absolutely great, absolutely amazing, and thoroughly worthwhile. I love it. I am looking forward to participating in it. And as I said on Facebook the other day, in a private conversation, what I said was this: as far as I am concerned, looking forward to the future, this is the last year where I am going to be willing to pony up $40 to vote in a tiny, insignificant niche award given by political ideologues to political ideologues for the purposes of advancing the economic interests of a politically biased publisher and in the interests of advancing the careers of, generally speaking, political ideologues. Not something I'm interested in ponying up $40 a year to do. Therefore, I can see myself being involved in the Dragon Con Awards going forward, and being involved exclusively in the Dragon Con Awards, because as far as I'm concerned, none of the other smaller awards, none of the other niche market awards, none of the other, tiny little quaint local awards whom time has passed by have validity so far as the genres of fantasy and science fiction go, between movies, television, books, comics, and on and on and on. We have moved so far beyond the quaint interests of a tiny, itsy-bitsy, less than 5,000 or 6,000 member convention to where 10 times that or 20 times that can be had. So that's my opinion about the Dragon Con Awards. I think they're a great thing for the genres. I think they're a great thing for science fiction awards. And I hope in the future, as they gain credibility among fans, that they will come to be the preeminent, prestigious award, and that these other tiny little local awards will fade away in importance, save among the minuscule, irrelevant adjunct community whom they serve.
Well said. And I think you'll be even less interested in supporting Hugo's when I inform you that to be involved, you don't have to pay $40, but $50 from now on.
Oh, $50 for a Hugo. Well, that's awesome. Voting $50 for a Hugo. I just don't see that being worth it. I just don't. I mean, and
here's the price of supporting memberships last year.
So yeah.
No, I agree with you. I was chatting with Declan Finn on his Pies to Geek blog about the Dragon Awards, and we came to the conclusion that, if nothing else, the Dragons are going to accomplish 4 very important things for geekery at large. So, first of all, it's going to establish, finally, a true People's Choice Award. Because unlike the Hugos, where you now have to shell out $50 for supporting membership, well, nominating and voting in the Dragons is totally free. And I saw some supporters of WorldCon complaining that, oh, well, DragonCon's just a regional award. You know, it's held in that backwater of Atlanta. You know, there's certainly nothing of interest there. And they claim to be a true global award representing global fandom, while forgetting that, as Bradford in the chat has pointed out, the internet has largely made WorldCon obsolete.
Yeah.
I would say that the Dragons are poised to be far more representative of global fandom, because anyone anywhere can get on the internet and with a couple clicks nominate their favorite books, movies, and TV shows. So it's going to be a true populist award. Now, pursuant to that, something else that they're likely to achieve is a control group or a test case to measure Hugo and even Nebula winners against. And I think that is going to be very enlightening when, after the Dragons have been running a couple of years, we can go down the list and compare the list of Hugo winners and nominees to Dragon winners and nominees. I guarantee you there's going to be considerable divergence in the choices that those two constituencies make. And it'll be because the Dragons are open to more than just a small domineering clique.
I think will be marvelous to see is the simultaneous attempt to deride and put down and impinge the validity of the Dragon Con Awards with the same group of people attempting to gain influence or sway in them. I think that'll be hilarious to watch. To watch them on one hand say, oh, they're meaningless, oh, they're irrelevant, oh, nobody, they don't matter. They're not a true measure of quality. No, the Hugo Awards, the Nebula Awards, they're small, they're elite, they're taste makers, they are rarefied tastes of those who are educated, while at the same time desperately trying to get Dragon Con Awards and desperately trying to gain sway in Dragon Con Awards to try and get them for themselves, but also dictate who they go to. The contrast between those two, I think, will be hilarious.
It will, because now, thanks to Sad and Rabid Puppies, we know that the maximum number of SJWs voting in the Hugo Awards is about 3,500. So even if they amass their full strength and try to invade and converge Dragon Con, if only 10% of the reported attendance of Dragon Con votes, they will have them beat 2-1. And honestly, Dragon Con underreports. There's like one thing said, the fire marshal from shutting them down. More realistic estimates of people who've been there is that Dragon Con attracts more like 80 to 100,000 people. So again, 10% of that will just completely inundate any attempted entries.
I'm looking forward to them. I would like to see, because here's the thing. I would like to be able to just put this whole Hugo brouhaha behind me and I'm not interested in playing patty cake with morons for the rest of my life. I'm trying to think of a more polite way to say that, but I'm too tired and I'm too sick to be polite on that point. I have become fed up with the domineering and arrogant demands of a tiny fraction of fandom being reflected by craven corporations who rush to kowtow to their provincial and meaningless interests. I mean, this group of political ideologues have a bunch of provincial interests and have their own bizarre standards for what quality is, and actual quality need not apply. And I don't care what they think is good or bad. I don't care what they think is right or wrong. I just want to have fun, read good books, watch good movies and good TV shows. And if they like them or don't like them, it's irrelevant to me. I just do not give a crap. And again, this is something I announced on Facebook, which is where I've moved to. I'm not actually on Twitter anymore. I'm just on Facebook. Anything that comes through Twitter is, by and large, reposted from Facebook. This is what I announced, is going forward, I have stopped caring what their opinions are. I've stopped caring about what their opinions of me are, what their opinions of works I like are, what their opinions of authors I enjoy are, and whether they like them or not, it is utterly irrelevant because it's not my problem. They can bugger off and virtue signal in and among themselves all they like. Leave me out of it because your opinions are odious. For the most part, the inner clique, your opinions and actions are actively evil, and I am sick and tired of being dictated to by morally insane individuals who are seeking solely to aggrandize themselves above their fellow man, to borrow status and the glory and applause of people around them by being false paladins. It's just not my problem anymore. In a very strict and accurate and precise sense, they are, to vent biblical here, pharisaical. They act exactly like the Pharisees in the New Testament. If you are a biblical scholar, which I know Brian is, and many people who listen to this podcast probably are to a greater or lesser extent, they are just like the Pharisees, and frankly, I'm tired of being polite to them. Not that I want to be impolite to them, they just no longer matter. And that's the great thing about the Dragon Con Awards, is that at least as presently constituted, if they can draw in voters and continue to pick works of quality, if the voters do, then it will become clearer and clearer as the years go on that this tiny little clique no longer matters, that their tastes don't matter, that their opinions don't matter, and that as their publishers slowly go broke, by and large, their literary works don't and won't matter. So,
no, well said. Exactly. And once again, I think Larry has shown us the way when he retired from Sad Puppies this year, because as much as I think that Brad and Kate are to be commended and their vision was a good one, it was a bit of mission creep happening there, because Larry just wanted to expose what you just said. That, hey, here are these people claiming that this award is for excellence based on merit of the work, with no political bias entering into it, certainly no clique controlling the votes, and he started Sad Puppies to prove them wrong and prove that it is just an award essentially being passed around to people on a quid pro quo basis based on having the correct thoughts and espousing the correct politics. And he proved it. He proved it beyond a shadow of a doubt 3 times and said, okay, I proved my point, I'm done. I'm going to go win the George Washington Award now. And that seems far healthier. And now with DragonCon coming, and the fourth thing that's going to accomplish ties into this is we're actually going to see more popular works win. You know, there's been a stigma that Larry and others have reported on in the Hugos against high-end fic, novels based on video game and television and movie properties. I think we're finally going to see some of those win, where you might see a Star Wars novel or a Halo novel win Best Sci-Fi or Best Middle SF at DragonCon.
All right, let me tell you what I'm going to do, folks. If you're interested in participating, they call them the Dragon Awards. And if you're interested in signing up for the Dragon Awards, I will put a link to it in the description, in the liner notes below, so you can go ahead, sign up. Again, it's free. You can participate in it and vote for your favorite works. They have eligibility terms, things like that. Again, this is the first year to participate in it, so it's a great opportunity. It's a great opportunity.
Hint, Ethereal is eligible. Hint. Anyway.
Ethereal 2.0 is not, but Ethereal itself is.
Well, they're the same book. It's just a different edition of the same book, so yeah. Whether you prefer one or the other, they're fine.
I'm going to add that to our liner notes below, and you can go there and sign up, and then I don't know. I'm excited. I think it's a great idea, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with those, and I sincerely hope they continue in the future, because I think it's a great opportunity for fandom. Okay, we are running out of time. We only have about 3 minutes left. Apparently that was a topic sufficient and meaty enough to cover the whole show. Before we go, is there anything else you have that you might like to cover? Any last statements?
Well, thank you for pulling my fat out of the fire. I'm going to come up with the topic on my own. But yeah, you're totally right. I mean, I can discuss the ramifications of DragonCon for hours, but I'll just add that the reports of the Hugos and the Nebula's demise are not premature. I think DragonCon is just put the final nail in their coffin.
All right. Let me say this. This is my last thought. By and large, I find works of art that exist primarily to lecture me, not to edify me, not to entertain me, not to enlighten me, not to inform me, but exist not even to morally uplift me, but exist so that the author can preen about what a good person they are, about what a great person they are, about how they are morally superior to me, not because of anything they do in their private lives, but because of the ideological code which they give lip service to. Give lip service to diversity and tolerance while tolerating no one, while actively stomping out diversity. Give lip service to loving women and black people, Asian people, gay people, transsexuals, while actually loving none of them, while not caring about them or their real situations in the world, or doing a damn thing to make them better. To give lip service to having a warm sense of charity towards all of humanity, but while actually having absolutely none. This kind of hectoring, this kind of preening, where the author is engaging in making themselves feel better and look better and supplement their self-esteem by hectoring and lecturing me in their works, simply do not interest me at all. I don't care about them. I don't want to read them. I don't want to hear them. I don't want to see them winning major awards. to the extent that there is a group of people with the same ideology who have compromised the integrity of organizations and awards, it is a loss, a tragic loss to be mourned. Where they can be opposed and defeated, great, we should. Where they can be obviated and made irrelevant, great, we should. Because I'm tired of these people invading my hobbies, invading my beloved works of art, and perverting them to be nothing more than vehicles for them to boast about how morally enlightened they are and how worthless everyone else is.
Well, that's as good a time as any for me to announce the title of the third upcoming book in my Soul Cycle series. You can only dream of being as ethical as I am.
So, I'm glad that Dragon Con has launched the Dragon Awards. I look forward to participating every year, and I certainly hope they come to supplant the Hugos and the Nebulas in the esteem of fandom. More specifically, I hope that the Dragon Awards become the kind of awards who deserve, who have earned, who have established a reputation such that they supplant these other lesser awards in the regard of fandom. Thanks for tuning in, folks. This has been Geek Gab for Saturday, April 16th, 2016. We're signing off for today, but don't worry, don't fret. We will be back.